Hey there, welcome to Find Your Sun. I'm Cass.
And I'm Mer.
Join us as we find our sun through movement, nourishment, and well-being.
Awakened through the power of play. Let's dive in. Hello, beautiful Sunseekers. I'm Mer, and I'm here with my brilliant co-host, Cassie. Today, we're diving into a topic that's really close to our hearts and why play is not just a luxury, but a necessity in our lives.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we just had the most incredible weekend, right?
We did.
Mer?
Oh my God. It was so
Celebrating my 30th birthday.
Happy birthday, Cassie.
It's just crazy. 30 is different.
It's a new decade, and it's a great turn.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 38, by the way. So I've been in my 30s for 8 years now, which seems so crazy. So I'm like on the cusp of 40. But I find that as I age, I just take every year with such gratitude because it truly is a gift.
Yeah. And I do remember I on my birthday, I was saying, I'm just glad that I made it here. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, like you're getting older, you know, but no, like that's not necessarily how I was feeling that day. I was just feeling, wow, like I'm so happy to have made it here.
Yeah, that narrative that we tell ourselves that aging is not desirable.
Yeah.
You know, like we make ourselves feel that aging is not something that we want because we have to buy all these anti-aging creams or
because we start to get wrinkles or something, you know.
But, you know, I was looking at my face in the mirror the other day, and I haven't used Botox, and I think my face it shows and tells all of my stories. And I'm thankful and grateful for those lines.
I think that's beautiful.
So
you should be, and you know what? That's
I'm just gonna embrace it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's self-love.
We've got to do that, ladies.
Ultimate self-love. So, anyways,
yeah.
So we got tickets to Goth Babe, and oh my gosh, this concert was insane. Meredith and I were children.
We totally were.
We were jumping up and down, smashing beach balls, and just like through the crowd and singing at the top of our lungs. It was a beautiful moment for her and I and my other best friend, Alyssa. Yeah, it felt so good to release all that energy because we don't get to do that very often as moms.
No, we don't. And honestly, this is the first time that I think I've ever taken a girls' trip. I know. Big reveal. But not really. You know, my husband and we lived on the island of Oahu for 7 years, and we were just really in the thick of it. So taking a girls' trip wasn't like even an option.
Yeah.
So getting to do this for the first time, like I had some anxiety about it. I was a little anxious because I haven't left them.
I feel like a lot of moms can resonate with that because I know a lot of moms don't typically leave their kids.
Yeah. And it didn't feel natural for me. But then all of a sudden I realized like, oh, I'm still in there. Whoa. She's kind of fun.
I think you said that.
Kind of fun.
It was fun to see that different side of you.
Yeah, it really was. You know, we even got to actually meet him in person. So we did a quick meet and greet and where he played his new song, Whole World. And it was really beautiful. I think it's about his love for his girlfriend that he just found. And I think he wants to tell the whole world that he loves her. And that's really beautiful. So it was a powerful moment for us. And before that, we spent the day literally chasing waterfalls and, you know, seeking like really, really beautiful views. So we drove along the winding Blue Ridge Parkway with our windows down and then hiked up the mountain as our hearts were racing. And it was so beautiful and peaceful. And however, you know, we were warned as we were going up the mountain that the clouds were really dense, but we didn't mind. We knew we were going somewhere. So when we got to the top, all we could see were the clouds and some vibrant yellow wildflowers and a really high tower. And, in that moment, I think we were both reminded of something important. And it's really just not about the destination. It's about that journey that we had together, just hiking up this mountain. I'm capturing as many photos as I can in video. And, the clouds were really dense, but there was something still magical about it.
Oh, I love that you said that. I think that's really symbolic, for what we're doing. Like we are trying to crawl and reach this destination, but that's really not what it's about for us, I think. I think it's more about this journey that we're taking together. We're learning so many new things, and we're growing together, and hopefully growing with you guys too. So, yeah, I really do. I love that. And it was so much fun hiking up that mountain. And you guys, if you haven't gone to Asheville, please do it, because these mountains are so beautiful.
I like to, so this is actually where my hometown is. And so I was born and raised looking at those mountains. And after I moved to Oahu, I realized every time that I was sitting at the beach, I'm looking out at the ocean. But every time that I went home, I realized that I was looking out at this sea of mountains, and they just go on for forever. And they're really beautiful.
They're so beautiful. And luckily, I had went there the other day and was able to see out across the mountains when the clouds weren't so dense. And so I was really lucky to be able to see those amazing views. Meredith just couldn't put her camera down.
I couldn't. I really love taking photos.
So it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And, even though we couldn't see those 360-degree views, we were grateful just to have gotten our hearts racing and to be in the moment. And that's what play is all about. It's about being present, going with the flow, and finding joy in the experience.
Absolutely. So next we want to dive into why play matters. And Cassie's going to start off with a quote.
Yes. Okay. So this quote is from The Power of Play by Elaine O'Brien and Andrea Seidel. And this quote says, "Play is not a luxury. Play is a necessity." And they are quoting the amazing Kay Rydfeld, who is an American psychologist. And
so much research backs this up. So Cassie started reading this book, and I am just dipping my toes into it now because I love reading stuff about, I just love reading, period. So this one is already capturing me, but the research backs this up. So play, we know, enhances mental health and well-being. It increases our ability to concentrate. It builds our confidence and optimism and our social bonds. And it strengthens our mindful awareness and boosts our mental agility. And I think that talking about mental agility is actually incredibly important as we age, because neuroplasticity improves the brain's capacity for change, as emerging research reveals that retraining your mind helps the brain adapt structurally and functionally throughout your life. And play can give us that energy that can last for hours. So when I'm talking about structurally and functionally, if we think about the brain, we think about the brain as our hardware, okay? The brain is like our computer, and the mind is our software. So structurally and functionally. So when we're thinking about that neuroplasticity and our ability to retrain, reshape our mind or those neural pathways, that is something that's really important in our well-being.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we talked about this in the previous episode, but we're having to retrain our brains, even Meredith and I, to this day. And this is why we're doing this podcast, to remember to play.
Exactly.
You have to,
we have to remember
be
every single
intentional
day
about it.
And I think that's with almost anything in life. We have to be very intentional, because you can be intentional for, let's say, 4 weeks or 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden you start to fall off again. But if we have these constant reminders that remind us to dig a little bit deeper and find that sense of wonder again, then we can continue to find it every single day, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's true. And play keeps us vibrant, young, and feeling truly alive. And speaking of play, keeping you young, we want to help you incorporate more of that into your daily life as maybe a mom or a caretaker. And I just want to bring this up really quick. So while I was away in North Carolina, after I had come back, I was talking with the babysitter that was watching my kids, and we were just playing a little bit, and I was telling her that it was my 30th birthday, and then she is like, "Oh, welcome to the club," And I was really surprised, actually, because she looks very young. I did not realize that she was like 35, I think it was. And I was like, "Wow, you look really young." And you know what she said?
What?
She said, I play all the time, so that's what keeps me feeling young and looking young. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is what we talk about,
Totally. And she really does. Like, she looks, I thought maybe like early mid-20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just like dumbfounded by that because, she does play every day. She's the music and movement teacher actually at the school that both of our daughters go to. So I believe her when she says I play all day. So okay, yeah, you do. This is the key. This is the key to youth. Not Botox, not.
Totally, it is.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. So speaking of play, one way Mer and I bring it into our week is we like to play dress up every Tuesday for the podcast. So,
I love dressing up, period, because dressing up just makes us feel so good, right?
It does. It does.
And definitely adds more intention to our mornings. So we encourage you to show up as your dream self, even if you don't have the occasion. Make one and dress up and feel the confidence it brings.
Yeah, exactly. And play isn't just for the weekends or special events. It's something that we can choose to create in our everyday.
So we're going to dive into that to how we can bring play into our everyday life. And I know we touched on this last week about maybe it's like in some of like when you're doing laundry, but now we want to share some more practical ways that you can bring play into even the like most mundane tasks. So we've come with some of our favorite strategies.
Hone in your observational skills and practice mindfulness. When you focus on being present, you can transform simple tasks like cleaning or walking into moments of joy. And I like to keep a note on my phone to capture these small moments. So what I do is just things that I want to remember. Like even if somebody, for instance, there was a man in the elevator that had kind of dropped a little knowledge or wisdom my way. And I just wrote it down in my notes quick because it impacted me.
Yeah. I feel like I find myself doing this more and more too, because I love to screenshot any inspiration that I find. And even when I was like flipping through, I got to the airport just a little bit early that morning, and I was flipping through a magazine and I just kept capturing these photos that were inspiring me. So it was just being present in the moment,
Yeah. And I think I have to share what the man said.
Please do. Please do. Oh, please tell. Yes, I love what he said.
So he asked me how I was, and I just responded with the typical response, "Oh, I'm good," And I said, "How are you?" And he said, "Well, yesterday is gone and tomorrow has not come. We only have right now." Something like that. I know. And I was like, whoa, you're right. And that's an invitation.
Yeah.
That was an invitation for me almost to be present.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I was like, wow, you're
I'll
right.
take that one. I like it.
Thank you.
I like it. So remember that, be here. Okay. So try taking that playful attitude into boring tasks. Like, that in the movie where Cinderella is singing while she's working and she's cleaning, she's adding that fun into her life, and it can really change your whole mindset and help you feel like you're more engaged with the task at hand.
Yeah. And you're having more fun doing it, you know?
I totally crank the music up all the time. So like Goth Babe has been on my playlist for so long now that when I've been cleaning the house for so many years, like he was actually in my living room. So like when I felt like the bass at the concert, like just pumping throughout my body,
and
I
this
was
is
cleaning. You know, I was doing the things that I do at home because I felt so present and so inspired in those moments by him.
I agree. Same. And Goth Babe is actually one of the first. His new album Lola was the first album or the first music that we really listened to together.
Okay, so
when we were creating, we were whiteboarding.
I gotta tell you those.
Yeah,
because okay, so Cassie's coming over. I know she's knocking on the door soon. I've got the whole like living room set up. All the lights are turned on. I have the fire going. Like I set the whole tone, the whole mood for like what we were about to create. And I turned on the Lola album, which had just been released, and it's about his entire adventure on a sailboat sailing from like Panama City to
New Mexico.
To New Mexico, somewhere in Mexico. I don't know the details.
Or not in Mexico. Mexico, yeah.
He did this with his dog, and he didn't need anything. He didn't need a ton of clothes. He needed some food and enough for, I think he said 6 days was like the most time that he was out on the water before he poured it again. But I think that's when you really find yourself.
And something else that I thought was kind of fun too, when he did his live performance before the concert, is like he just showed up as he was. Like it was like a cutoff tee, like a dirty hat, like some sandals.
So great.
You know, it was just like he showed up how he probably shows up most of his days, you know? Yeah.
Totally.
So the next thing that we want to address is really honing in that sense of accomplishment throughout your day. You want to focus on the reasons why you're doing the task and the sense of accomplishment you'll feel when it's done. Yeah. And it can make a huge difference when you understand like, oh, dang, I did that. You know, and I don't think that we give ourselves enough thanks sometimes, you know? Like we do so many things, as especially you and me as moms. Like we're doing the dishes, we're doing the laundry, we're dropping the kids off from school, we're working. It's like we have to have that gratitude for ourselves. And you know, I'm sure our husbands get in that feeling too. Maybe they don't feel like that sense either. And we need to make sure that we're also celebrating them and our kids. I mean, my goodness. Like we have to celebrate them too. You know, like we're always, we figured this out too the other day. Because so we have caregivers and caretakers. She's like, wait. There's caregivers and caretakers. And I was like, whoa. Well, I want to be a caregiver. I don't want to be a caretaker. I want to give as much as I can. Before, I don't want to take. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So, okay, another way, gamification. Gamification really kind of makes the more friendly, like competition. So, one thing that Cassie and I thought about using for gamification and friendly competitions is starting to compete on our Apple Watch to see, like, to make sure that we're getting like our workout in and we're closing our rings. So just introduce like a little bit of gamification to it. It's a fun way to stay motivated and to keep us accountable too. And we need to do another one really soon. So like I was like, hey, make sure you request that tomorrow or like last night. So we'll wake up early in the morning. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to.
Life is
We
complex.
need to start this competition because I need to get my ASS back in gear.
Yeah, it's so fun though.
Yes. Okay. So another thing that you can do to incorporate play is short, fast bursts of maybe cleaning or habit stacking. You can tackle your tasks in short and focused bursts. And you'd be amazed how much you can accomplish when you give it your full energy for a limited amount of time. And sometimes I do that. I like to do that with maybe my dishes or my laundry. Like just do it in like a really quick manner and then, let myself go, maybe tackle another task or hang out with my kids or something, So, and then don't forget habit stacking. You can pair tasks that you enjoy or tasks that you don't like with something that you enjoy. Like maybe you're chatting with a friend while you're doing your laundry or listening to your favorite podcast.
Right. Yeah. That's
a
a good one.
Yeah.
And then we can also transform your space and meals. So bring creativity into your home and meals. Okay. So I always say meals, deals, feels. It always sounds a little funny, but I am from the South. So I do have a little bit of my accent still there, but it always comes out in meals and deals. But simple transformations can make a task more enjoyable. So try something new in your space or add a playful twist to your meals. So, for example, last night I just reorganized my kitchen area and like made sure that things were like set properly or like designed nicely so that when I walked in the morning, it was going to feel refreshed and ready for the day.
You're preparing for your future self.
Exactly. Thanking my future self. Good job.
Exactly. That's a fun thing.
Yeah.
Fun thing to do, I think, for you.
It is. I love it. I really do. She gets to come to my house every day, so she gets to see. I like to have fresh cut flowers because it just brings me joy. I like to put things neatly. I like my laundry room organized. I like the kids' rooms organized. And I like to open and close my house. So like I have a whole routine for opening and closing my house.
That's awesome.
So just another like reflection moment. I've always said, I want to live each day intentionally, finding joy in the seemingly like imperceptible beauty around us. And my mom is the one who really taught me this valuable lesson. She is a kindergarten teacher and she loves monarch butterflies. Okay, it's real and I understand why now. When we were in Hawaii, we had this monarch caterpillar and the monarch caterpillar I gathered all this milkweed for it, but all of a sudden, like all the milkweed was gone. And I remember this word that she taught me when I was younger and it's voracious. And this caterpillar was voraciously, the hungry little caterpillar, right? Was voraciously consuming the milkweed leaves until it was so full that it literally goes just to town on these leaves. And then it crystallizes into this stunning chrysalis of jade and gold, and it's transforming into something new, something that can take flight. And I feel like it's this beautiful metaphor for how we can live our life, voraciously taking in all that we can until we're ready to emerge and take flight.
That's amazing.
I just want to that's what I'm doing when I'm looking at flowers.
So
like it's like so like I'm voraciously like consuming these beautiful flowers and smells with my eyes. Like I just can't get enough.
Take a moment ridiculous. And take it in. Take it in. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like take it all in.
Yeah, take it in and just like love it so hard.
Yeah. And and I think for me, that's all about embracing life fully, finding play and joy in everything that we do.
Yeah. Okay. So let's wrap this up.
Let's do it.
So play isn't just something you do once in a while. It's a necessity, like we said earlier, and it helps us feel more alive and more connected and more joyful. And the best part is that we get to choose it. Like it's a decision. We got on this couch today. We chose to show up.
You're right. And guess what? Like it's not always easy.
It's not.
Because we go through our personal stuff too. And we have to constantly choose to come here. So I do really want to thank you for showing up for us. And we'd love to hear from you. How do you bring play into your life? Please share with us and use the hashtag Find Your Sunne because that would just light us up and like give us a hug through the internet, right?
Absolutely. It would totally light us up. And, don't forget to make your own occasion. Dress up, create the moments of joy. And remember, play is your choice.
It is. It's your choice.
Well, until next week, we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Just before you go, if you want to sprinkle some love our way without spending a dime, why not hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel? It's like giving us a hug through the internet. So please give that button a little tap tap and join our Sunne family.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you found the discussions enlightening and inspiring. Please note that the information provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only. All opinions expressed here are solely our own and do not reflect the views of any sponsors or affiliate partners.
And before you apply any of the health strategies discussed on the podcast, we recommend consulting with a professional to ensure it is appropriate for your specific circumstances.
Remember, we're here to spark conversation and ideas, not substitute for any professional advice.